doesn't want to protect their business or their corporation from liability? So let's unpackage that. How do lawyers help you protect your business from liability? So first of all, liability is a risk. It's something that you owe to someone because you've hurt them or damaged them or you have problems. Now, there are a lot of ways to protect yourself and to protect your business in terms of limiting liability, and it's going to be very, very broad. So for instance, you should have policies in place. If you have a business that involves other employees, then you want to make sure that everyone's on the same page of what they are and are not allowed to do. So if you have a business that has a lot of employees sitting at computers, you might need to have a privacy policy, or you might need to have a policy on internet usage at work so that people aren't accessing sites that are going to cause a problem for your computers. Any business that has multiple employees should have a policy about harassment or being discriminatory or workplace violence. People need to know what the rules are, and as obvious as some of them may seem, they're not always obvious, and that's one way that it creates liability for a business, is where they don't have the rules in place for people to follow. A totally other area that a business can protect itself from liability is insurance. You want to make sure that you have proper insurance in place so if something happens that you are protected. It protects your business from liability. It could be slip and fall for the premises. If you own the business, is going to be different kind of insurance. For business disruption insurance is something you can have. You can have cybersecurity insurance, and insurance gives you money in order to cover the losses that you would have in event of something happening. They even have key person insurance, where if you have someone that the whole business relies on this person being there, and it's going to cost you a lot to find someone to replace them, then you can insure that person's life to make sure that if they're gone, there's a continuation of the business. Now let's switch to a whole other area where you can protect your business from liability, and that would be like a shareholder agreement. You have multiple shareholders who are part of a company. What happens if one of them gets divorced? Are the other shareholders going to be happy if their spouse starts managing things? Often not. What happens if someone wants to leave the business? What's going to happen? Those set up rules for the people who are involved in running the business and own the business in terms of shareholders to make sure everyone's on the same page and ultimately protect the business from liability. Now, there's going to be a ton of different things. Some are just regular rules. Like if you have a restaurant, you have to keep food at a certain temperature, or they have to be checked over a certain amount of time. Restroom security, cameras, all those things form part of it. If you need help in terms of protecting your business from liability, call one of our lawyers. They can sit down with you, go over your exact business, the location, and risks that you have. Every business has certain risks that might not exist in another business. For instance, if you're dealing with toxic chemicals, it's going to be different than if you're running a daycare. That's going to be different than if you have an automotive shop. So there's lots of different ways that the lawyers can help you to make sure you protect your business from liability, which ultimately protects your livelihood and your investment.